Let's talk about Threads. So yesterday we did our summer news update, and we talked about how Thread usage had dropped by half about a week after it launched. Well, it's only gotten worse since. Threads, which is Meta's Twitter rival, is struggling to retain users roughly a month after its highly publicized launch, according to fresh industry estimates showing that app engagement has fallen to new lows. This is a report from CNN.com. It says the data from market research firms SimilarWeb and Sensor Tower highlight the challenges facing Meta as it seeks to exploit the opening created by the chaos surrounding Twitter's management. Threads' daily active user count is down 82%.
Wow.
From its launch as of July 31st, according to Sensor Tower, with just 8 million users accessing the app each day. That is the lowest it's been since the day after the app's release, when daily active users peaked at roughly 44 million. Sensor Tower said people are also opening the app less frequently and spending less time there. On its launch day, Thread users opened the app on an average of 14 times and spent an average of 19 minutes scrolling through it, the company reported. But by the end of the month, those figures had fallen sharply. So, I mean, a week later, it was down to 6 minutes. I can't imagine how much sharper drop it was by the end of the month. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think everybody's in love with the idea of a new app. But everybody's still using Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it now. I think the fact that the app launched without like all the features that people love in place already hurt it.
Yeah,
because they're wanting to add all those things. There's like, well, we're not done yet, but let's throw it out now. And like, okay, this is great. And at first it was, because at first the only people you saw on your little feed were people that you knew or followed already. And then like really quickly it became, all right, well now it's just showing me everything. Even people I don't follow. But I don't want this. And I think maybe they have added an option now where you can follow just your friends or look through a feed of just your friends, but it might be too little too late at this point. Also the fact that there's not a PC, like there's not a web browser version. Is a big deal. It's all on the app, just like Instagram. I think they're hoping to get a browser version out, but it's like...
Why did you do this?
Right. Why? It's too early. You jumped the gun. You jumped the gun and the shark all at once.
I have this cool thing. Come see it. Oh, well, it's not done yet. But...
I think people also... Like when Instagram came out, and they made the decision that this is just going to be on the phones only. And Facebook bought it, or Meta bought it, and they continued on with that. That's where the world was going. Everybody was using smartphones a lot of people just stopped having computers. Like no computer, no laptop. We'll just use a smartphone or, an iPad, something like that. All very handheld stuff. And that trend is starting to shift back now. People are going back to at least laptops. A lot of people are buying PCs again, like desktop PCs. And people are adjusting back to the way they were before smartphones came out. We're still using our smartphones, but we're using it in tandem. So now we want to be able to do everything on both, seamlessly working together. And not a lot of apps are doing that yet in a satisfactory way. One or the other will have like less features. You can't do as much on the phone, or you can't do as much on the computer, if at all. I still hate that I can't do Instagram on the computer unless I'm doing like like a brand, because Meta will let you do like your brand stuff for Instagram on the computer, but I can't just post my normal stuff there. TikTok got wise. TikTok allows you to upload now on the browser. And like, that's great because a lot of people edit these videos together on a browser.
Right.
It's so much easier to edit a TikTok video on your computer than it is to try and do it in an app on your phone with your fat fingers.
So, do you think we're switching back from using our phones to using the PCs more because there's just so much more that you do online now. And your phone allows you to do one, maybe two, if you can do a split screen things at a time. But meanwhile, you can do like, five. You can have 5 different things going on your computer screen.
Yeah.
Especially if you got 2 screens.
I think as things have gotten more complicated, like more feature driven, and Instagram, remember, and it's still kind of this way, but Instagram, like, you posted your photo and it was a square, and here's like 13 different filters you can run it through that are automatic, and you just pick the best one and then you post it. That's how it started. But now you go to like TikTok with, some of this very professional video editing that people are doing. Some are doing it very haphazardly, and that's normal. That's part of it. But some people are doing some really serious stuff. And you can't do that on your phone, at least not easy. Or at least it'll take you twice as long to do it on your phone than it would be on the computer. That's
the difference. This is becoming your job. So it was just a cool, I'm going to show you my life and post things on Instagram. Now this is my job to do this. I get paid for this. So might as well get the computer and get it done right.
That's a good point.
People are making it their career, being social media people.
Influencers.
I mean, Matthew,
Let's move on to virtual assistants. Okay, so this is part of a column, I believe, from Felipe Esposito from 9 to 5 Mac. As reported by Windows latest, the Cortana app, which was Windows Siri, has received an update via the Microsoft Store after 2 years without getting a single new update. But instead of new features, the update pretty much kills Cortana. And now shows a message saying that Cortana in Windows as a standalone app is depreciated. So earlier last week, during a call with investors, Apple CEO Tim Cook reinforced that Apple has been conducting research with a wide range of AI technologies, including generative AI, for years. Multiple rumors have pointed to Apple internally developing a technology to compete with ChatGPT. However, while Microsoft and Google have already made their new tools available to the public, Apple's still a long way off. In the meantime, Siri is still Siri. Even Apple employees complain about organizational dysfunction and a lack of ambition when it comes to development of Apple's virtual assistant. Some employees point out that Siri is still based on a very legacy technology, and that improving it would require a lot of effort. Seeing what other companies are achieving with generative AI, I think, he says this, I do think it's time for Apple to give up on Siri and focus its efforts on new technologies. What this is essentially saying is Cortana, Siri, maybe even like Alexa, on the way out. Kind of reached peak level of what they can do without AI involved. So are all of these going to be outdated? Is this, like, I'm remembering, this reminded me of before we had the smartphone, we had our flip phones. I remember in college having a flip phone that had TV on it, heavy air quotes, TV on it. And what it was like 5-minute long audio clips with tiny little size of the postage stamp and heavy pixelated images that, like, it was supposed to be video technically, but it was like a new frame every 2 seconds. So it was just, but behind they're talking full, like it's a news broadcast or sports update or whatever. And I'm like, this is great.
How cool is this? I got TV on my phone.
So then compare that to the smartphone when that comes out a few years later. What's that?
Alexa's listening to our conversation. Tristan.
I think I need to turn my volume down. Alexa just said, I don't know that one. Yes, she is listening. Did I ever, I mean, the virtual assistants creep me out anyway. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because you remember the story.
It still creeps me out that I read an email and my phone is giving me suggestions on how to reply. That freaks me out because I'm like, you're reading my email. You're obviously reading my email because you're giving me suggestions on how I should reply.
Well, I still remember the time that really freaked me out about it was when I found out that for Google, you can go into your history, your Google, like your account history, and hear your audio from when you ask a Google virtual assistant something. Mm-hmm. And you have the wake word, which is, I'm going to say it slowly with a break. Okay, break. Google. You say the phrase and it perks up. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay. But then you listen to the audio and the audio recording has you saying
the phrase.
Like it heard you say the phrase, but that's supposed to be the wake word that starts listening. So how do you already have the phrase? Mm-hmm. But what was worse than that was that I had used that at church one time, and one of our friends, Jaron, was talking in the background, and I could hear him talking on the recording before I even started saying okay. So it's recording all the time then. That's what we're saying. Mm-hmm. So they really are listening to everything, recording everything. I don't know how long they keep the recordings, but just the fact that they're doing it all the time and not just when I say the wake word freaks me out still. And this was years ago when I discovered this. And so if we add AI to that, and our new virtual assistants are basically in our heads, predicting our own behaviors and needs before we even ask them. I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know if I, as a person, can come to accept that from a virtual assistant.
Yep.
So we'll see. Finally, let's move on to the Disney Channel. So this kind of got overshadowed by the writer's strike, but the Disney Channel, as a channel, celebrated its 40th anniversary last month.
Wow.
Yeah, 40 years of the Disney Channel. When I was a kid, I remember that it was a premium cable channel. Mm-hmm. Like you couldn't just get it with your basic cable package. It was like Stars or Showtime or whatever. You had to pay extra for Disney. Mm-hmm. But it became standard like when I was a preteen, I think. And so I started watching that all the time. So I just kind of have a list here of some of my favorite stuff from when I was a kid that I watched. And I don't know how much of it you watched. I know you didn't have it, but you had friends that had it.
Yeah, I got to catch it at friends' houses.
Right. So I remember So Weird.
Me and my friend Sandra would always watch. That was the show we watched when I went over to like stay the night at her house or something. Mm-hmm. And then I'd be freaking out. But I'd still watch it.
Yeah. There was Flash Forward.
I don't know that one.
I believe, I'm trying to remember what it was. I feel like there was a weird time travel element with that, but I don't remember. But I do remember the famous Jet Jackson.
I didn't get into that one.
With either. Smallville's Cyborg in it there. I love the famous Jet Jackson. He was supposed to be an actor in a spy show or whatever. Like he was a techie spy, but he was also that in real life. It was like a weird Hannah Montana for Spy Kids.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Even Stevens. Did you watch Even Stevens?
With you.
Shia LaBeouf.
With you.
Shia LaBeouf.
That show, I feel like it reminded me too much of my little brother for me to like it.
I loved it. And then Kim Possible.
Yes.
Animated.
Uh-huh. Kim Possible.
What's the Sitch?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I have my phone's ringtone is the Power Rangers watch, where it's deet, 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 deet. But everybody says, hey, Kim Possible. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not even a little bit.
It is.
But the big deal was the Disney Channel original movies. Movies not good enough for theatrical releases, but plenty fun. Under Wraps, where the guy was a mummy. Remember that? Brink.
Wow.
Brink. I watched Brink a lot. I loved Brink. Halloween Town and that whole series. I loved those.
Yeah, I didn't watch those.
Xenon, Girls of the 21st Century. 31st? 21st Century? I'm pretty sure, because we were still in the 20th when they came out.
Wow. All that stuff
Living in Space.
didn't happen. Yeah.
Smart House. The terrifying movie where the Smart House falls in love with the family to their detriment.
Yeah. That's a little too real now to watch. I want to watch that now and think about Alexa and freak myself out. Yeah.
Johnny Tsunami. You remember that one? The surfer kid that shows up in like Colorado. So he becomes like a snowboarder or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Alley Cat Strike, the bowling team movie. Did you watch that one?
Nope.
Quince, the girl from Halloween Town, is the older sister of 5 identical twins that come out, or like quintuplets that come out all at once. She has to help the family, and they become semi-famous and all this kind of stuff. You remember that?
Nope.
I love that movie. Phantom of the Megaplex, movie theater, Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
You remember that? All right. Yeah. That's the last one I remember actually watching before they started turning all into High School Musicals and Camp Rocks. They were good. They were good back then. Sweet Lives with Zach and Cody. No, thank you.
They're all so drama filled now.
They are. They're very much CW light now.
Yes, they are.
Back then, it was just like, what? You want to have a inline skating race? Let's go. Let's rollerblade out of this place. Halloween Town, that's not coming out now. We got Wizards of Waverly Place, which is a drama-filled wizard show. Mm-hmm. We're not having Halloween Town with pumpkin head men and all kind. There's barely any like romance or whatever hinted in those. Yeah. It was very much just focused on the weird sci-fi Halloween aspect. Mm-hmm. Xenon, that was fun. Space races.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff.
There was
being grounded in space. Though. There was, but being grounded in space. That's essentially what it was. Then you had to save the space station from the evil whoever. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just good stuff. Good solid stuff. They worked it out. Actually, I think the last one that I watched was Cadet Kelly, that had Christy Carlson Romano from Even Stevens, Kim Possible, and then Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, okay.
What's her name?
I remember
I don't remember her name. Mm-hmm. Hillary Duff. There we go.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Talking about Disney Channel. Disney Channel celebrated their 40th anniversary.
All the old Disney
last
things
month.
We love.
Yeah. Okay, so also I have one bonus news thing that's not really nerdy news. It's just really weird, so I want to talk about it.
Okay.
If you haven't heard, it's about Bed Bath & Beyond.
Okay.
Bed Bath & Beyond is gone. Like, it went bankrupt, sold all its stuff, had this big auction to sell all its stuff. Overstock.com comes to this auction and purchases all of their IP. The name, the website, the logo, all of it.
What?
And then immediately changes their name to Bed Bath & Beyond. Rebrands everything from Overstock.com to Bed Bath & Beyond.
Wow.
And so now it's like Bed Bath & Beyond didn't close down. It's just now all online. But it's very strange. It would be the same thing as if Twitter went under and Meta's like, let me snag that IP and rebranded Threads as Twitter. And now it's just like, this is Twitter. This has always been Twitter.
What are you talking about?
It's so strange. It's a company wearing another company's skin. And it's weird. And I just needed to say that.
Are they like hoping nobody knows the switcheroo? And
I think
they're like, Bed Bath & Beyond. I like them.
the way that it was explained to me is that Overstock.com's business model has changed over the years. So initially it was literally Overstocks. Like,
right.
We have we're selling all this
the
extra merchandise,
overstock.
essentially like an outlet. It was like an online collective outlet store. We have all this overstock stuff. We're going to give it away for pennies on the dollar. But they've changed to having a lot of stuff that's just sold there. We sell this now. It's not an overstock. It's just the same basic stuff that you'd find at Bed Bath & Beyond. And so I think the idea is to get away from the idea that it's all just overstock stuff. And like, this is a place that you can come first, not later kind of thing, which I guess makes sense. And Bed Bath & Beyond, despite the fact it's gone out of business, has good
stuff.
Like people, I mean, not well stuff. Yeah. But I mean like brand recognition.
Oh,
I don't know anybody who's like, I hate Bed Bath & Beyond.
right.
You know?
Right.
Like, I loved going to Bed Bath & Beyond. I never bought anything, but I love going there and looking at the things. I lie. We bought a pillow or something there once, didn't they? They also had all that.
Apparently, everyone just looked at it because it went under.
It was a place to look
I'm
at
going to
things.
go look at things and then order it from Amazon. Yeah.
They learned the rebrand trick from scandalized banks that went under. Yeah. Well, I mean, that happens. That's a government thing, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that when a bank goes under, the FDIC comes in and they're like, all right, we're renaming this and we're opening up tomorrow and we're going to tell all our customers that everything's still the same. We're just under a new name now. And they start over kind of thing. Like I watched a whole deal about this. And we have a bank in our town that's gone like through 3 name changes. And I think it's because of that. Like the bank goes under, the government steps in and like, all right, this is ours now.
I thought it was like other banks buying that bank out, like buying.
That's the thing that happens as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's it. We're gonna stop right there.